Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be looking at window tinting on my Porsche 996 Turbo. I'm going to be doing a couple of trips that involve quite a lot of miles in the summer, and I just thought, look, it might be worth looking at maybe a window tint. As you can see that I've got zero tint on the back windows and the back quarters, and I just thought, okay, maybe this is something I can tackle myself. But for those of you who are professionals out there that do this for a living, I know it is an art, right? You don't just pick up a scalpel blade and a bunch of tint and fit it perfectly, right? It takes time and effort to perfect the art. So I totally get that. So I started to look at, well, are there options for those that do want to give it a go DIY at home? And of course, there are pre-fabricated, pre-cut templates for different cars. You enter in your details, and you can pick up sort of the rear window, the quarters, you can do sort of the side glasses as well. And I thought to myself, well, look, window tinting tends to be sort of a permanent fixture in many respects. Once people do it, they don't tend to rip it off. And if they do, then they generally are doing it because they're going to move the car on for sale, or maybe they want to do a darker tint or lighter tint and so on. So I thought, with that in mind, what would be really useful, really cool, is if you could have a tint that you could pre-fit, remove or fit whenever you wanted to, without the water, the cutting, and all of that stuff that might come with trying to tint your windows. And that led me to this company here, Plexus. And I'm not sponsored by these guys. I found them doing my sort of research online. They are a Swedish company who soon really seem to do a really cool alternative to the traditional window tinting. They are prefabricated, pre-cut, I guess, templates that fit perfectly within the window surrounds, utilizing really the interior fixtures and fittings to fit them in snugly, so I believe. Now, we will see, right? I've ordered this kit. It's for the 996 Turbo, specifically the rear window and back quarter windows. It's a relatively dark, I think it's about a 75, I forget, something like that, in terms of its darkness, of amount of light and UV that comes into the car. But as I'm doing these longer trips during the summer, I thought, well, I'd like something that I can fit, but also not permanent, that I can take out maybe in the winter months and so on. So I thought, right, let's give it a go. The kit cost about £130 all in. With a discount for a first time order, it came to about £115, I think. And I thought, well, that's a pretty decent price, bearing in mind that if you go to a window tinter and ask for a similar job, you're probably going to be looking maybe double that, because you're asking for someone, not just the material, but someone's time and effort to cut, slice, and fit in a perfect manner. So let's get unboxing this and see what we've got. Of course, with all good packaging, take note of any warning signs on it. And of course, this one says, do not use a blade, which is obviously what I'm using. So you have to be very careful, because ultimately you don't want to slice through the cardboard and into your lovely tinting material. So let's just lift that up. Do that. Okay. Certainly well wrapped, which is great. And the material that I'm told it's similar to is like race car windows. So when they replace the glass and they put in like a perspex, I guess, type, it's a form of that, but not as thick, I believe, even though that stuff isn't thick. But it allows this material to bend without cracking or warping and stuff like that, which is cool, right? Because that's what you need it to be when you're fitting it. So let's just slide this piece out. Right, okay, so this is the rear window. And yeah, it's actually quite heavy. It is like a thick perspex. I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but you can sort of see the thickness of the material there. If I just turn that on to the light a little bit and it zooms in, so it's a pretty thick, it's not a film, it feels and is structured like a plastic piece of material. And yeah, that looks cool, so that's the rear. And then we have the quarters, where you can see, again, labelled and has all the protective film over it as well. So we'll peel that off. We have to give the windows on the inside a good clean. And oh, actually, that's both of them together. Look, there you go. So we'll give the windows on the inside a good clean, and then these should, as specified by the instructions, bend either way. Look, you can see they form straight back into their original shape. You can bend and should slot into the interior fixtures and fittings aligned to the window, which gives it a snug fit. So let's see if this works. Okay, so you would have seen me just clean the windows on the inside, and I thought actually this would be a good time to show you the kit that you get. So we've seen the actual material itself covered with the protective white layers either side, and now it's into understanding how it actually fits into the interior. So you can start to get a feel for what's in the pack here with these little holders. So let's get everything out so we can see. So it looks like, what I can see, like rubber fittings that clip to the actual material itself, and then what looks like 3M double-sided tape that helps secure it in place. You get some vinyl fitting gloves, thank you very much, and some details about the actual company and the material that they use and all the different things that it does, and like I said, made in Sweden. There is a whole bunch of, I guess, learnings and details that they provide, of course, via YouTube, so you can see how you can mount it for your particular set. So I'll do a QR code there and we can have a look at that, and then we can see all the different types of step-by-step guides that you can go through. And as I said earlier, it bends quite a lot, so you get quite a generous proportion of movement within the material itself to actually fit. And of course then how you might do the additional windows if you've got them on the front and so on. So let's do the QR code and see what that brings up. Okay, so I've just done the QR code. It brings you to their YouTube channel, and there is a whole bunch of information, as you would expect from a provider like this, on what it is they do, how they do it, and then they've got what looks like about 160 different videos ranging from very new cars to older cars, and hopefully they'll have one which is of mine, but all the different brands are there, and it gives you step-by-step instructions for each of those cars that they do. So like I say, there's 160 there, and ideally I can try and find mine. They got the Porsche Cayman there, which is cool. But very comprehensive. 911 with sunshades and mounting. That looks like a 997 version there. Might be the same or similar approach anyway, so that might be the one for me to use. But yeah, everything from sports cars to family hatchbacks, SUVs, 4x4s, you name it, they seem to have it, which is great. And there seems to be a good amount of people trying this process. So here's the 911. And I will go through this now. I'll save you from watching this, but I'll go through this step by step just to see if it lines up with the instructions that I've been given here. And yeah, hopefully know then how to do it. Right, so those clips I don't think I'll need. I think they're there to support the material if needed, but the main thing, and so I believe it should slot in to where the actual rim of the interior is. First things first, you've got to make sure that you've got the right size template, and of course mine fits perfectly. What's interesting is that most windows have this black paneling. It's probably better to see actually there. Look, on the back window you see this black paneling which runs around, and it's generally there to cover the material that's used to stick windows in, so you don't see the ugly side of the I guess the material used to stick the window in, so it looks all nice and flush and so on. But if this fits like so, then it isn't going to the edge. So yeah, I'm interested to see how this might line up. So let's get inside and have a look. Right, so we have the material fitted, as in, well, I haven't taken anything off, but I've just basically put into place the material, and yeah, as expected, it slots in sort of against the rubber parts of the inner lining of the window frame, and yeah, it's there. I mean, it doesn't move or anything. Now when I peel this off, I'm thinking it might be sticky. I don't know. It doesn't say that it is or it isn't, so maybe it isn't sticky, but that is in place now, and it's sort of, yeah, it's like moving, but I'd like to think it would sit against the window a bit tighter, but it's definitely in there, like it's not coming off. And yeah, I mean, if I can slot it, move it around a little bit. There we go. Actually, that's better. So now it's within all the rubbery sort of window frame pieces. So I mean, it's a fantastic fit. There it is. Look, I mean, there's no light coming in from that, or there will be light, should I say, but very little. So it definitely is the right template, and you can flex it as much as you like to sort of fit it within the window. So okay, that's cool. I will take all this off now, and we'll try and do a proper fit. everyone, so I have just fitted the two side back panel windows, and yeah, as much as I thought it would be difficult, just because it's a very tight and small window and there's quite big overhangs from the interior paneling, the material gives you a lot of flexibility, so you can bend it to quite some distance without any type of, I guess, cracking or, you know, worry that the material is going to keep a bend in it after, you know, flexing it so much. Now that's really cool. So it went straight into place, and then you have the ability just to maneuver it so it completely blocks all the light out and fits nicely within the shape of the window. Now it's hard to sort of see, but I guess you can get a feel for how good that is. Let me take off the flash as well. So that's now looking out through the new fitted paneling or tinting, you know, material that I've put in. That's what it looks like without it. So quite a difference. And from the outside, it looks super cool and very, very factory in terms of the fit and finish. So the little pads that I showed earlier with the 3M tape, they can actually slot just in here against the window if you want them to, really just to make it fit tighter if you wish to. I think I'll use that mainly on the back window because it's a much bigger piece, and make sure that it gets locked in at the top here. But the fitting, yeah, there's quite a lot of room in the paneling of cars, which you might not think at first when you sort of sit and just as a passenger, but there's a lot of space that you can just slide bits of material in, like this solar Plexus tinting material. So it's pretty cool, and yeah, I really like the look. It really does finish off the car really well. So anyway, I will get the back one done now, which will be a bit more of a test, and we'll see if we can get that fit and finished. Okay, so I have completed the back window and the side windows, as you saw earlier, and you can see the difference between the side driver's window, the quarter window, and the rear window. So as you get up close, a bit smeary on the outside there, need to give it a clean, but there is no way you can see through that, which is really cool. I don't think it's as dark as it makes out on the camera. I think when the sun's on it and it's out in the daylight, there will be sort of that smoky effect as seen on the rear, but I mean the the back almost looks mirrored. So let's have a little look inside. And as you can see, as you come in, let's put a bit of light on this as well. It gives you a feel for how dark the back is now. And everything fits in nicely on the side windows. I have to say, those were good. The rear, I'm not too sure about, to be honest. I've used the little stick, well, the 3M sticky pieces. Let me get in a bit closer here so you can see. So once you slot it in around the edges, I've got one in the bottom corner there, another one in the bottom corner there. It slots in behind the plastic there and on the sides as well, and on the roof lining. I put a couple more up on the roof lining just to, but there's a little bit of flex in the middle, which I guess is to be expected with the window being curved and then the weight of the material, this plastic sort of hanging down. I can't see how it would be a flush fit against the actual glass itself. So maybe that's just the way it is. I will have to take it for a run and see, because what I don't want is any type of noise happening while you're driving, which I think could possibly be. The side ones, I don't expect anything because they're really snug, so there's nothing there that would worry me there. But yeah, the big panels, I think, yeah, not too sure on that. Otherwise, I feel like it's been a Yeah, it's been a good learning to put a tint that looks great when the car stood still as it is, and will protect from the sun when I'm doing the long road trips that we're doing this year. So that's the main reason for doing this, and with a view to actually removing them when I need to as well. So from that perspective, it's done the job, but we'll see how it goes when we get it out on the road to give it either a full thumbs up or maybe not so much. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for following as always and the support. This is the steps I took using this company, Solar Plexus from Sweden, who provide templated cuts for tinting your windows DIY at home, which simply is a plug and play, drag and drop, and there they are fitted. Thanks again, and more videos will be along very soon.